welcome to MojoPlays, and today we are showcasing all of the improvements and additions to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on Nintendo Switch 2. But before we dive in, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Graphical Upgrades. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were already gorgeous games, but the most obvious improvement to these new additions is how they look even better. They feature a higher resolution, 4K when docked, and 1080p while in handheld mode. They also support HDR, which, for those unaware, stands for High Dynamic Range, and increases contrast, color depth, brightness, and overall detail. If visuals aren't a big deal to you, you should know they also run much more smoothly. With an increase to 60 FPS, areas where frame rate drops caused the games to stutter, looking at you, Great Hyrule Forest, performance has seen a significant improvement. Additionally, load times are much quicker. You barely have time to read a helpful hint before you're loaded into the next area. Photo Studio. Of course, the biggest addition to these updated versions, at least when it comes to new content, is Zelda Notes. Accessed through the Nintendo Switch app on your smartphone, it comes with a variety of new ways to interact with the games. Admittedly, having this pulled up on your phone while you play can be a little awkward. And for some of these features, it seems like they could have been added in-game instead of accessed here, such as the Photo Studio. Here you can upload, edit, and share pictures, whether they're screenshots or those you took with the Pura Pad in Tears of the Kingdom or Sheikah Slate in Breath of the Wild. Photo Studio allows you to change the picture's aspect ratio and add different icons as well as frames. Personally, this is the part of Zelda Notes I will probably use the least, but it's there for those who want to play around with images they've captured of Hyrule. Playing with data. If you've ever wondered about certain statistics of your playthroughs in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, that's what our next Zelda Notes features are for. These versions track your data. Some stats are expected, like total playtime, enemies defeated, and rupees collected. Others are a bit more unexpected, like meals eaten and distance traveled, or game-specific stats like how many times you've used your champion or sage abilities. You can also now earn medals, each in 4 levels from bronze to master, sort of like Zelda's version of trophies or achievements. These are earned by increasing your various statistics, simply as ways to challenge yourself to do more. If you want to challenge yourself further, you can also compare your stats to other players around the globe. You can even look at deaths, favorite weapons, and enemies defeated in any given area of the map. Upgraded Amiibo Usage. Zelda-themed amiibos can be quite useful in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Different ones give different materials across both games. They also have a chance to unlock specific armor sets and weapons, as well as paraglider cosmetics in Tears of the Kingdom. The Zelda Notes app comes with a small upgrade to using Amiibo. Normally, players can only scan an Amiibo once per day, but the app tracks what Amiibos you've used and how many times you've used them. If you've scanned a specific Amiibo 5 times, it unlocks an extra use for it, though only on that day. It's not a huge bonus, I know, but can be helpful if you're trying to farm materials you know a specific Amiibo gives you. Daily bonuses. With Zelda Notes, you can get rewarded just for playing. Players can gain a random daily bonus from spinning a roulette wheel of sorts, which is then added to their key items to use before it resets at 2 a.m. Some of the options can fully restore health, stamina, or in the case of Tears of the Kingdom, your energy cell. Others will immediately grant a passive bonus to Link that he'd normally only gain through a meal, like an increase in attack power or defense. However, the bonus that might be the most coveted to many players is the durability fix. That's right, you can gain the ability to fix a near-broken weapon or shield that you don't want to lose. Although, since you only have a chance of getting this, and it goes away if you don't use it that day, you can't fully escape your equipment breaking. Navigation. This is one of the more useful features in Zelda Notes, and one that essentially makes every website's location guide obsolete. You can use this to earn 100% in both games, tracking down everything you may have missed. Choosing between different categories, there are the expected things whose locations you can track, like shrines, side quests, and Koroks. Others are unexpected, but still very much welcome, like overworld mini-bosses, or simply named locations you may have not stumbled on. This is much appreciated in both games, but especially Tears of the Kingdom, which features a lot more things to track down, like entrances to the depths, treasures like Yiga schematics, and bubble frogs. One element I was happy to see included, since I never got around to completing all of them, were the Addison signs. In any given category, you also have the option to disable ones you've already found and turn on voice navigation to help you head in the right direction.
Please proceed. Proceed west and downward.
Sharing is caring. Another useful feature in Zelda Notes is the item box. Players can now transfer materials, ingredients, and weapons into storage. That last one is particularly useful if you don't feel like hunting down Koroks to expand your inventory space. You can then hold on to them for a rainy day, or transfer them between both games. Though, some items that only appear in one game will be changed into a different item, or rupees, in the other. Additionally, if you feel like being friendly, this feature lets you share the inventory of your item box with other players via a QR code. Tears of the Kingdom comes with an additional shareable feature in the Zonai creations you build. If you've come up with something you feel is especially cool, or, like me, are just jealous of the ridiculous contraptions people have managed to pull from their imagination, this is a neat feature to take advantage of. Voice memories. By far the most important additions to these new versions, at least if you care about story and lore, are the voice memories. In Breath of the Wild, there are 125 audio logs from Zelda you can find, all from her perspective of traveling around Hyrule before the Calamity. In Tears of the Kingdom, the princess gets an additional 150 during her time traveling amidst Hyrule's restoration in between games. King Rauru gets 35 memories on the Sky Islands, giving some insight into Zonai history, and Master Koga gets 55 in the depths, detailing his research and exploration of the mysterious new setting. While these memories are short and most of them don't change the overall story, they add extra flavor and layers to the history of Hyrule. For diehard fans and lore hunters, these are exciting prospects. Plus, they're one of the things you can unearth more easily by tracking them with the navigation feature.
Oh, this is a new mushroom. I've never seen anything like it on the surface.
Have you jumped back into Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom on Nintendo Switch 2? If so, let us know your thoughts on the additions in the comments.